All right, let's talk about the Nisho bookkeeping exam. For so many people, it just feels like this giant, scary mountain you have to climb. But what if we looked at it differently? Today, we're going to flip the script. This isn't just a test. It's a challenge, yeah, but it's a challenge with a very clear, very beatable strategy. So, is it actually a difficult test? That's the million-dollar question, right? It can feel like you're trying to crack some impossible code. But what if I told you the key isn't being some kind of math wizard, but just learning the rules to a really specific game? And that's the big mindset shift right there. One of the best ways to think about this is like it's a role-playing game. I mean, it has rules, it has different stages, it even has special items. And you know the best part? Unlike a lot of other games, there is always one single correct answer. If you just follow the rules, you win. It's that simple. Now, every good quest needs a guide, right? Well, meet our little helper for this journey. Together, we are going to break this whole exam down into a super simple three-stage plan. Trust me, by the end of this, you'll have the complete map you need to clear the game.
Okay, let's dive right into level 1. Stage 1 is all about getting the game's fundamental rules down pat. I mean, you can't really expect to win if you don't even know how the basic controls work, can you?
So what does this first stage actually look like on the test? Well, here you go. It's basically a series of multiple choice questions. We're not talking about complex calculations or anything yet. It's just a really straightforward check. Do you know the vocab, and do you get the main ideas? And the absolute bedrock, the foundation of all that vocabulary, is this: account titles. Just think of these as the official labels for, well, for everything. Cash, sales, supplies. Every single transaction has to have a name. You absolutely have to master these. It's the non-negotiable first step. Now, for what is seriously the single most important rule in the entire game, the principle of balance. This is like the law of physics for bookkeeping. For every transaction, the left side, we call that the debit, must equal the right side, which we call the credit. Always. No exceptions. And if they don't match up, well, you know right away you've made a mistake. It's like a built-in error checker for you. All right, you've learned the rules. Now it's time to actually play the game. So welcome to stage 2. And let me tell you, this is the single most important part of the whole exam. So this is what stage 2 looks like. You get a little real-world story, something like sold goods for $100 cash, and your mission? To translate that simple sentence into the language of bookkeeping using all those account titles you learned back in stage 1. And let's be totally crystal clear about this. This stage is everything. Seriously, mastering journalizing isn't just the ticket to passing this exam. It's the foundation for all the bookkeeping you'll ever do. This is the main boss battle for sure. So, how do you beat this boss? Here it is. This is your secret weapon. This diagram of the 8 elements of transactions is basically your cheat code. It tells you exactly where every little thing goes. Did an asset increase? Boom, that's a debit on the left. Did your revenue go up? That's a credit on the right. If you memorize these relationships, you will always know what to do. Let's just break it down into 4 simple steps. First, you read the business scenario. Second, you figure out which of those account titles are in play. Third, you use that 8 elements chart we just saw to decide what goes on the left and what goes on the right. And last, you pop in the numbers and do a quick check to make sure they balance. And that's it. That is the whole process. Okay, so once you get really good at creating those individual little entries, you're ready for the final stage. This is where you kind of zoom out and see how all those little pieces of the puzzle fit together to tell the bigger story. And here we are, the final stage. It's officially called a trial balance, but really, just think of it as a monthly summary. Your job here is to take all those separate journal entries you made back in stage 2 and neatly organize them into this one final report, just using some basic addition and subtraction. This slide does a great job of showing how the data flows. You see how all those individual transactions for, say, sales and purchases, they all get pulled together onto this one summary sheet. This is literally how bookkeeping takes all that financial chaos and turns it into a clear, understandable picture. And hey, look at the bottom line. 970 equals 970. Remember that principle of balance from way back in stage 1? Well, here it is again, in the final boss room. The grand totals of the left and right columns have to match. If they don't, that's your instant red flag that a mistake happened somewhere back in stage 2. It's the final check to see if you played the game right. So, we have our 3 stages. But, to really conquer them, you need the right gear and the right strategy. So let's do a quick fire round of a few essential power-ups for your study sessions. First things first, how you study. So many people make this mistake. They read the whole book and then try to solve problems. That's just not a great way to do it. The much more effective method is this. Read one small concept and then immediately, right then and there, do the practice problems that go with it. Learn a rule, apply the rule. That's how you build real muscle memory. Okay, here's your final checklist for victory. First, get fast with that 10-key calculator because speed really does matter on the exam. Second, don't just passively read the terms. You have to actively memorize them, like you're using flashcards. And finally, get your hands on online practice problems. Do them again and again and again until the patterns are just totally burned into your brain. Let's wrap up with this really powerful idea. This isn't a test about being creative or thinking outside the box. Bookkeeping loves rules. It hates exceptions. Your entire job is to learn the rules of the game and then apply them consistently. That's it. That is how you win. So there you have it. We've broken it all down. Stage 1, learn the lingo. Stage 2, apply the rules. Stage 3, summarize the results. The path forward is crystal clear. It's not some impossible mountain. It's a game. And now you have the strategy guide. So the only question left is, are you ready to play?